America is a nation that can be defined in a single word. I was excuse me.
Now, it may get bigger, it may get a little bigger, it may not get bigger at all. We'll see what happens. But regardless of what happens, we're totally prepared.
This is your victory. Now, I know you didn't do this just to win an election. And I know you didn't do it for me. You did it because you understand the enormity of the task that lies ahead.
You're not going to believe this. He killed 16 Czechoslovakians. Guy was an interior decorator. His house looked like shit.
Fire!
What? Give me a hell yeah! I said give me a hell yeah!
I'm Coach Casey. This is TJ, and this is the middle of the road. I don't know that. I'm still trying. We'll get this figured out. What's up, buddy?
So this would be what? Season 2, episode 3? Yeah.
But kind of episode 1, if you think about it, because we might as well come out. We're only one season in, or started the second season, already changing the name.
Well, we just shortened it.
Yeah, I think it was the name we kind of wanted all along. We were Monday morning middle of the road, and now we're the middle of the road. A lot of that being, it was confusing, you know. People were only looking for us on Mondays. And
kind of
with your job change or I don't know about that, but with certain changes, we may not always be on Mondays. We may be multiple places, multiple times.
Gives us flexibility.
Yeah. So if you're watching us live, you're watching us live on TikTok or on Facebook. I need to probably get on and see if the Facebook's actually working, because I don't, technology and me and everything. I'm going to try to, once we get going here and I see that everything is working, it would be pumping in. I got it going, but it looks
to be good on TikTok anyways.
Yep, and it looks like we're good on Facebook. If you are watching on Facebook, let me know if we sound all right. I have, which actually here we can do this. We've got so much technology going that I don't know how it's going to sound if I do it here, but
sounds good.
Yeah,
there's lots of technology.
That's us going back through Facebook. It may not be quite loud enough. I also, because I'm a miserable failure with our recording equipment, I've lost the bar that tells us what our levels are. But I know going through here the levels are good, so that's what matters as far as recordings go. So, what's up, buddy? It's a Sunday. It throws me off. We've been hanging out for 2.5 hours now.
Yeah.
I'm let down. I don't. If we seem sad, it's because we've been stood up.
We were, yeah.
Lee, if you're watching or listening, I hope you're all right. So I'll be careful and preface it with,
I don't think he even has any social media.
If you're fine, then I'm pissed off. If you're hurt, then I'm sorry. So, like, if something happened, then you have a pass. If not, we were supposed to have an interview, part 2 with Lee. If you've watched before, you watched the first interview or listened to the first interview with Lee, our Army friend. And he was supposed to come back for part 2, and I didn't know if he would, so I had even started off the notes for the show with, does Lee stick around for the interview? Does Lee show up? So
yeah, well, guess we'll have to wait till next time. Be continued.
Don't let TikTok distract you too much. We just did about a 2 hour, I don't know how long we actually were live on TikTok, and you know,
basically, Giants and Vikings.
We watched the Giants-Vikings game. If you had money on it, I don't know what the spread was. The Vikings lost by 7. So I don't know
somebody on there was saying he had $60 for 13, so he needed, I think, the Giants to score again.
Yeah, and they didn't. So if you're keeping up with this show, up to date with our picks, we both picked San Francisco. There's a win for both of us. We both picked Jacksonville, which we'll probably get into that in a little bit, or I don't care. We can do it right now. But that was a crazy comeback last night, and they did win. We both picked the Bills, and they won. I picked Giants, and you picked the Vikings. So
you're up on me now.
One there. So we'll cross you out on that one. And then getting ready to start here in a little bit, the Bengals and the Ravens. We both picked the Bengals. So, and then tomorrow night, Cowboys, Tampa Bay, and we'll talk about that a little more too. So, have you been driving around a lot lately?
Oh, well, I drive back and forth to Newton almost every day, but not the kind of driving that I used to do.
Yeah, I've been driving, and more highways sucks too. I've been doing more like side road driving the last week or two for some reason, like off on Seneca's, and like I went to Century 2 today for a car show today, and the amount of, and maybe it is me, and like, cause I rode with my brother and he complains about driving a lot.
Your brother's in town?
Well, he was last weekend.
Oh, okay.
So, and we rode around and he complained about drivers a lot, but he seemed to be struggling driving too. Like some of the woes were not the complete woes of them. So anyways, the driver's just bad. So I wanted Lee to be here for this, but I wanted to maybe as a show and we don't have to do it right now, but come up with maybe some new regulations, or like, I just think there should be like
I used to think whenever I was driving, I wish that I had a missile launcher on my truck.
Yeah.
For people that are, especially in the fast lane, that don't go faster.
Or
than
even
the
just
speed
like a
limit.
machine. Mine would even just like would shut their car down. I don't really want to, I mean, maybe it would be good to get them off the road, but like shut their car down at least till I get a mile away, and then their car starts back up. So, and then once I've hit them with this tag, I call it, anytime they get within a mile of me, their car shuts down.
That'd be good.
So then, we could sell this to other people, and this is a business idea spin-off of this, but I think there should be a special driver's course. Like, you just drive around and people are so not paying attention or can't make a proper turn, or they don't even care that another car is coming and I don't know. I just think there should be a special course. And if you don't pass this course, they just,
well, it's called driver's ed, but
I know, but I think
that doesn't teach etiquette.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think like
people to stop having shit for brains.
Yeah, you get a citation or something for horrible driving, and then you have to take this driver's etiquette class, and until you pass it and know just the common freaking things about driving, I
can tell you something that I've noticed just in the last 6 months is I get zero respect in my PT Cruiser than I did whenever I had
a
my
big truck.
one of my big diesel trucks. That's for damn sure. People
that's
just drive
even
by you in the PT Cruiser and they're like, "Look at this guy."
Well, that's even the same with me. Even like having just to be honest with you, the Malibu compared to just my truck I had, my 1500. I mean, it was a truck that people seen, and I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess I can accelerate a little bit faster in this one. I don't think you can in yours, probably.
No, my truck.
If anything, maybe slower.
Yeah. What?
The PT Cruiser.
Oh, it does not have the power that my truck has.
No, didn't have the same power.
Now my work truck it's brand new and it has a shitload of power.
Well,
I don't know how long that's gonna last, but
yeah, the truck or the
truck, because it's just, I don't know what, it's a V8. I don't know what it is, but it's pretty spunky.
Yeah, those trucks are.
And they're super light, and they're.
Are we going to get into that any of this show?
I don't think so.
Okay. So I guess we'll finish my idea. Yeah, better than the rocket launcher, we'll do the.
Or what would be cool, and I always wanted, was something that you could, some sort of technology to go out the front windshield or the rear windshield that would be like, hey, jackass.
Yeah, see, I always wanted that, a sign, like if they're behind you, it would go backwards. So if they're looking behind you, you'd be like, move over. You could change it for different stuff.
Yeah.
And once they pass you, like, why do you have to be an a-hole?
Or one of the things is somebody would pass you, and then you'd pass them, and you pass them back, and you keep playing that game. I was in Atlanta one time for work. This chick just kept doing it, and I finally just had enough, and we got stopped in traffic. She was right next to me, and I was in a lifted truck, and I just rolled down my window and just smashed my Mountain Dew right on their car, right on their windshield.
See, I'm not that guy. I drive by shaking my head. Like, I feel like that's almost the same as a Mountain Dew smash, like a discerning.
There's a 20 ounce, so it hit pretty hard.
A discerning head shake, or like I drive by and I give them I don't even flip them off anymore. If you're watching, I give them the awkward thumbs up, and I don't know. You don't get nothing, or
that was a long time ago.
You get that weird Arabian guy that follows you and then wants to get out in traffic and fight you, or
me and my wife had
nothing
somebody.
against Arabian guys. I'm just saying the last time that happened, this guy happened to be, and I'm maybe Iranian. I'm sorry but he jumped out of the car like in traffic and was like about hit my truck. Like and I rolled down the window. I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm just having a bad day. I probably could have beat this 50-something-year-old guy up, but
We had something like that. I don't even remember where. It was like up northeast somewhere. Some guy did that and pulled over. And then when he pulled over, I was just like, gave him the finger. I was like, what am I going to fight on the side of the road? Because you're driving like an idiot? I don't think so.
Yeah, it's amazing how those people that'll be in the fast lane doing that, they're doing that purposely, because then you'll go to try to get around them and they speed up. They're like the morality on speeding police. That drives me crazy. I struggle with that too. So special driver's course, basically what my hope was, if like you do agree to take this course, me and you, I'll take it, no problem. Pass it with flying colors. I know how to let people merge. I know how to do all that. It's not even about, you can speed once you, but then you can pull people over and give them a ticket and they have to go to this class. And if they can't,
if you got the lights on your car, just hit them, pull over.
You've got to, it's not.
Take the driving class. You're driving like an idiot.
Yeah, and their license is revoked until then.
Yeah,
you at least get
nice.
them off the road. So, all right. The only other thing I did have driving around lately, and we can get to some stories, minivan hauling. If you listen to, which also shout out to Conrad and them, if you are an OK Taco subscriber at all, and you've seen that little studio that they built, or the game room they built out of the taco trailer, and some of the things they've done.
I was pretty impressed with that. What I want to know is, were those games already there? Because I can't see him going out and spending money on something like that.
I'll bet they did. They probably bought out an old arcade or something.
Think?
Yeah.
Did you ask? Have you?
No, I haven't yet. I've wanted to. I reached out and hoping Tea Leaf. I haven't talked to him since the last show, and they've been busy. But he did a whole thing on why certain races like minivans. My whole thing is minivans are making a huge impact in the hauling game. I've seen more minivans in the last couple weeks hauling shit than I've ever seen in my life. And I think growing up, you've seen the companies that do the ladders, and there's some things you've seen on them traditionally. But today I seen not just a mattress strapped to one. I seen mattress, box springs, the headboard, the entire bed, every content.
Well, I mean, it's got a ladder rack on it, so I mean that's a good.
This one I don't know if it
rigged to haul shit.
It is, man. And then the other day I also seen.
Just think, you got those sliding doors, easy to throw straps around.
I seen
if it was strapped. Was it
wasn't,
strapped?
Yeah, it was strapped. It was strapped.
With a
and they had
strap
the vans partially, the doors partially open on both sides.
The sliding doors were
yeah.
open? Really?
Yeah, they had it strapped through the van.
Huh.
In this particular case, the other day I seen, and it wasn't a full-size fridge, but it was a good-size fridge.
How'd
like
they get it up there?
Exactly. And a freaking washer on there.
Like a washing
A
machine?
washing machine on its side. And then there was
washing machines. Yeah.
not that heavy, but then
yeah.
boxes and all kinds of other shit on this. And it was a real nice minivan.
I don't think I've ever seen anything. I've seen not as necessarily hauling shit on top. I mean, yeah.
But then the other day at lunch, the one that made me just started my journey on this, that made me really start watching, was a crew that had like 30 freaking things of sheetrock on top of their minivan.
That's heavy.
They had, it was loaded down.
Squatted?
Yeah, and like 2 or 3 ladders strapped on top of it. They had to use
a nice flat platform.
They had to use the ladders to crawl up to put the stuff on, then use the ladder. Like somebody had to be on the front of it to.
What these people look like?
They were mixed race. They were
Mexicans.
They're mostly Mexican. There was.
They're resourceful, man.
I know.
They don't. White people don't think like that.
Yeah, I don't know. So if
those guys got to get to work,
if you're live and you're on Facebook, or I don't know, you monitoring Facebook at all?
No, just TikTok.
If you go check it, maybe. But if you are on Facebook, or on TikTok, either one, what's the most unique thing you've seen strapped to a van or a car or a whatever? I don't know if your cousin Sean was watching just to see what
he's.
Is he not?
He's
busy today.
He's killing hogs.
Okay.
Today.
Well, if you do watch, tell us, what's the most unique thing.
I've just seen I was gonna say, when you asked me, just disgusting amounts of trash, filth.
Box.
Every time
inside of them or on top.
Yeah. But when you see stuff like that, you just wonder, like, their vehicle is like that they're just can live.
Their
in
house
filth.
is exactly the same way.
Now, we used to work with this guy, James, on the pipeline, and his truck was just filthy.
Tell us if you like the new View, too.
I like it.
No, I'm telling the people that are watching.
So
I know you do.
He had like a brand new truck. It was a Dodge Laramie Longhorn. You
Well,
know,
that's how your friend is that you talking about that's how your buddy Jason King or Jason whatever Black Doug is.
Oh, B. Doug,
His freaking
Josh King.
yeah.
This guy's was different. This is a different guy.
Okay.
His truck. I mean, it was a Laramie Longhorn Dodge dually. It still had they have
Here in the
special-
Midwest, that's a big deal, guys.
Laramie Longhorn Dodge. That's an expensive diesel.
No, I know
truck.
that's what I said. I'm just
Oh.
a lot of people watching don't know. I mean, they don't know what that is.
Watch Yellowstone. That's what they're driving. Laramie Longhorns. It's a Dodge's King Ranch. Basically, it has special leather seats. It still had the tags on them. He would smoke. He would be burning darts in this thing, ashing on the floor, shit everywhere. It'd never been cleaned. We were in New York for 3 months, and James somehow had dumped tuna out the side of his car, and there was
Parts of it on it
the
still.
greasy, And I was finally one day I was like, James, what the hell is that? He's like, oh, I dumped a can of tuna out there.
Just
I was
let it ride.
when was the last time you washed his truck? Never. So anyways, we were always contemplating James's truck is so disgustingly dirty. Wonder what his house is like. And then one day he just happened to show me pictures of his house. Immaculate. And I'm like,
Well, some
your
people
wife,
are maybe that
what's your
what I
wife
was going to
think of
say.
your truck? And he goes, oh, she don't get in it. I'm like, well, I don't know how she would anyways. But and your house is just we had joked about it. We were like, I bet you James's house is fucking perfect. And sure as shit it was. He was showing me it was just gorgeous, awesome house. He lives in somewhere in Mississippi. And
Well, obviously, if you have somebody that takes care of it, I think there's certain, of course, if you got in one of my trucks, of course, my car right now is not dirty. It just
But not
needs
like this.
vacuum. No, I know.
I probably could find you a picture of James's truck.
Okay, well, mine have gotten pretty bad, especially the work trucks and some of that at different times, but still not that bad.
Yeah, but you're
I
not
pick up, but I'm not
ripping darts in there.
no.
And ashing all over the floor.
Man,
and
when Hirsch
throwing
worked,
food.
when I had a guy that worked with me, when Matt worked with me, and he smoked like crazy, and I just let him in that truck because whatever.
Oh, you did?
Well, that one.
Yeah, but you never hotboxing though.
No. It was big. Yeah, even on cold days, he'd get mad because I'd lock the window and roll it and the passenger side down. And
Hey, hey, I'm cold.
hey, man. And for 20 minutes after the next job site or two.
Some people just don't care.
Did you have any stories that
I
you
have a
wanted to
bunch
do
of
today?
stories. Well, I say we first.
Or did
we
you
were
have
s-
some things we
We
wanted
can first
to?
start with the RIPs of the week, man.
What do we got this week?
Robbie Knievel.
Yep, that one was a sad one.
Yep.
I'd never really. Of course, he was not obviously evil.
But
he had some big jumps. He had some, I think, quite a few records. But he still.
He's dead at 60. That's
Yeah.
I mean, that's fairly young. He did a lot of cool stuff.
We
Thing
need
was, he
some-
wasn't doing necessarily on those heavy Harleys like his dad was.
Yeah, he did it on different bikes, and I need to, I guess, have some sad music like some what's his name?
You could do that. That's too.
Yeah, no, I was talking about what's the Puffy song when since you gone
Every breath I
away.
Yeah, so he died this
Who
week.
else we got?
We also the king of rock and roll, Elvis Presley,
His daughter.
Yeah.
Yep, Lisa Marie.
Yeah. I think that's all I had for this week. I mean, we don't.
That's
wanna
I don't know about all, but yeah,
That's all I had.
No, I'm just saying. No, that's enough. I guess
That's
is what
enough,
I'm
yeah.
saying. No, that's it happens, And she was young too. How 58, 50?
Yeah, she was in her early 50s. I know that.
I know they said it's crazy the amount of stuff that somebody with that kind of money had at home that she was able to was able to keep her alive longer because she had a defibrillator and a certain kind of medicine that
She was just on the Golden Globes or whatever.
Yeah,
it was
not
on.
a
She
couple
looked like
days before.
She looked really bad. So
and that's why I said you don't know what's wrong with somebody or what's going on or whatever. Was that all the passing away
yeah,
you had
that's
this
all
week?
I had for people, celebrities.
And I have another, I did have food truck ideas, and mine were just because I've been super baked lately because I've had some back on the weed, the actual stuff a little
the
bit.
real weeds.
Yeah. And, but I was just driving by a food truck and it made me think of for me, I wanted to do one called baked goods or good and baked or
Like where you do CBDs,
no, I was thinking,
like edibles.
no, I that would be kind of
Are
cool
you
too.
talking about
Actual baked stuff
like cookies and
yeah,
stuff like that?
but for super stone, but you want to attract them with that.
Oh, you're talking about stoner food.
Yeah, but I'm just trying to attract potheads with my ideas, but also a stoner idea
So what's
for
stoner food?
just any kind of sweets or cookies or we'll do. But that's where I was also going to do baked and fried. So we'd also have all different kinds of fried foods and grilled cheeses and freaking French fries, and then you'd have badass like funnel cakes and
There's
pancakes
a food truck. I seen him once or twice on it's like Central and Maple and Tyler out by my house. That is like a Hawaiian one, and like one time we had just come back from getting lunch, so we didn't stop. And then the next time I drove by on the way to go get something to eat, and he was closing up shop. I'm like, damn it, we're gonna have to catch this guy sometime. But I don't know. Hawaiian food would be different food than we eat every day, but be worth a
fried
shot.
Hawaiians or something.
Yeah, like
I don't know.
pineapples and bananas and shit. I don't know.
I don't know what all they do. We'd have to look. There's been somewhere I was where they were doing Hawaiian food, and I don't remember what it was, but it was like shish kebabs and that kind of.
I took my
like
brother-in-law, or not my brother-in-law, my sister-in-law and her boyfriend to this Jamaican place out west, and it was the worst shit ever.
Oh, I can imagine.
And they were not very happy. We went and ate somewhere else afterwards. So
yeah, I can imagine.
And they're already out of business. They didn't make it too much.
That doesn't sound very good.
Well, when we were in Jamaica, we ate a lot of good food, but
Oh, I'm
this
sure, but
wasn't
different.
it.
Yeah, different takes on it everywhere you go to.
Yeah, man.
What stories did you have before
Did
we
you hear
get
about
to
the female cop who got fired for on-duty sex with her coworkers?
I didn't. It got on mic, man. That's awesome.
She told them she was in an open marriage, but apparently never told her husband.
Man, is that the one that got caught on mic?
I don't know, but have you seen this chick?
I have your cord. It's underneath you. I need to plug you in so the TV behind you will do it. I mean,
She looks like an alien.
she looks not. Yeah, I mean, she's
Looks like a cartoon character.
yeah, not the worst though, but yeah. What is that like? What would you call that? An Oklahoma 5-4?
I don't know. Okay, what's her name? Officer Hall, who is married, is accused of revealing her breast while at a steamy family memorial boat party.
Okay,
Hall,
this isn't the same chick then.
I don't know. Hall was open about a relationship with other officers and once bragged to Maglico about Officer Powell's sex organ after performing oral sex on him while on duty. She's supposed to be pulling people over, not giving
Yeah, no, I don't want my tax money go. Well, I guess if she pulled me over and that was my punishment, maybe.
Oh, apparently Hall's husband got upset. The report reads, during the visit, McGowan admitted to taking out his penis with Hall in the room and taking a photo of it. He sent that photo to Hall. Before Hall was hired on force, she met up with Officer McGowan's house with her husband and another female. It might be only natural to assume that when a married woman is out playing whip out at a family boat party, openly bragging about her hookups while on the clock and stripping down with another woman at a coworker's house, that such is the nature of their relationship, that her devoted husband might be happily living that increasingly popular cuckold life. You'd better guess again. Ex-cop Megan Hall said that she and her husband, Jediah Hall, were in an open marriage, although he did not seem to be on board.
I was going to say her version of an open marriage is different than apparently his is.
Megan spelled very weird. Maegan. She's got an extra A in there. Who does that?
Her apparently.
Her parents,
she wanted
I
a
guess.
couple extra D's in there, it sounds like.
Looks like she got a Megan and her fellow officers allegedly engaged in wild affairs that include exchanging nudies, taking her top up at a hot tub party, and even having oral sex with two officers.
And if you are tuning in, because we usually do games live, maybe I'll kick it back on tonight, but it's 0-0 Bengals-Ravens. Bengals are driving, still in the first quarter.
Just taking a shot at Joey Burrow.
I found the one after this that I'll tell you. We'll see. I even got some audio of it.
Okay. Basically that she basically got caught. Her husband wasn't on board with it, but she was. So
Isn't that often the way a lot of non-open, but
only one-sided open.
I was gonna say that's just cheating when it's a one-sided open. But I guess if you're going around telling people
if you're telling
it's an
people
open
you're not.
marriage, then it's not. Well, I heard this one the other day coming in, and it's a rookie open mic catches sex romp. You're gonna rip my underwear. I don't know if this is the one, but
TMZ.
Los Angeles Sheriff's deputy is under investigation for apparently having sex on the job. Close that real quick because I'm afraid I'm messing up. Or at least that's what it sounds like on radio broadcast. The audio is heard by the airwaves in the past weekend. The rookie deputies working a men's central jail last night. Sounds like during her break she got into some risky business. Well, that's not the one I heard. I heard one where, and the lady's calling through and she's going, ma'am, your mic's open mic. They're looking into the event. Her boss believes it was an accidentally engaged her radio when she was getting it on. She eventually realized the microphone was open and shut it down. But what you could hear, the damage was done. So she's probably going to lose her job, most likely. So sorry, your story made me think of that one. And that's not the one because it was just funny audio. I just wanted the audio because it's like the poor chick that's working dispatch is going,
what?
2-4, your open mic, 2-4 open mic, because you can hear it's like,
she's trying to tell him.
It's like, whoa.
It's kind of like on American Pie 2 where they're like, he's like, we got 2 hot lesbians. And he's like, what'd you say? Yes, naked lesbians.
Hold on.
And he's like, this is officer whatever, turning off my mic. And he just like puts it back and turns it up. And they're all just sitting around listening to it.
All right.
Did you say lesbians? Yes, hot lesbians.
That's not of course, you hear about like those teachers and those cops and all of that stuff all the time, but I don't ever, you don't ever run, in my experiences, and it's good because I'm a happily married man, but,
Me too.
You just think she's pulled some dudes over. There's probably a lot of stories that could come out of, about some dude she's pulled over or whatever, and you can get out of this speeding ticket if you let me. What? That is the weirdest. I mean, I guess. I just did it to get out of a ticket. So, what else did you have?
If you could buy a house from any of your favorite movies as a kid, what would it be?
What house set would I buy of all?
Or just like,
man, I don't know. There's been some cool houses. I mean, like Fresh Prince comes to mind, but that house doesn't. I don't think it's as big as.
I bet you can guess mine. Pretty easy.
I probably should, but I'm not in the, I guess, a good thinking mind.
What's my favorite movie? Christmas movie?
You would want the Home Alone house?
For sure.
Man, I'm trying to think. There's been some odd, like Dallas. I remember some houses in there were just like gigantic, and I like those old style, and that's kind of a similar house, like mine would be the Rocky house before they go poor.
Oh, the one that he has with the robot and everything with all the cool 80s.
Oh yeah, because that house is like
pretty sweet.
We've got 9 bedrooms and we don't need that'd be pretty.
Well, the iconic Gooines House in Astoria has a new owner.
The one that they're in where he knocks
with
into the
maid,
window.
Yeah,
there you go.
Beeman Zakari, who's from Kansas, and his wife Liz just purchased a home for $1.65 million after it was on the market for just 6 days.
Man, do you buy it because you're a Goonies fan?
Well, let's see. I think he is. Zachary,
or is it just coincidental?
I don't know how you say his name. I'm going to say it's Zachary. Is an entrepreneur from Oakland Park, Kansas, with multiple businesses, and he has been a Goonies fanatic since he was a kid and dreamt of owning the iconic Astoria house from the 1985 film.
I don't think that would even be. That definitely wouldn't be on my list.
Did you
but
know
I'm not
that they're going to make another Goonies movie?
I heard that.
Yeah.
I'm not a Goonies freak though, so I guess that's probably why it wouldn't be on my list.
Well, yeah, Goonies is one of my favorite movies from.
Is it?
But I mean, I wouldn't think of like that house.
Yeah.
Now, if it came with Data and all those guys, maybe.
Yeah, maybe
cool.
if like
Chunk was out in the front doing
something.
the shuffle.
Yeah, I guess there would have to be something else that goes with it, because, yeah, it definitely. I don't know.
One of his goals is to bring the magic back to a new generation, but his treasure doesn't sit in a locked chest or X marks the spot. It's been in Oregon the whole time, at 368 38th Street in Astoria. There's so many levels of coolness to this.
Astoria,
Awesomeness.
where you said? I'm sorry.
Astoria is in Oregon.
There we go. Well, that's okay. That makes sense where that would be.
Yeah,
because there's no other way they could have a ship sailing in.
Yeah,
it was an awesome movie growing up, but I guess.
Who was your favorite character out of that?
Probably the Asian kid.
Data?
Yeah. He had some of the best little.
I kind of liked
the way he freaked out and stuff was always kind of the best.
I liked the older brother, which he's an awesome.
Is it what's his name in there? The guy. What's the Corey Feldman?
Corey Feldman, yeah.
His character's just because
he's
the
funny. Mouth is
Yeah.
his name on that, and how he can speak Spanish and everything. Yeah, dude, I watched that video that we went and looked up someone Corey Feldman. How come he looks so much like Michael Jackson?
I don't know. He's a freak, man. Because that was
I thought
he
that
was one of the
kinda
ones
catchy
that
till I listened to more of it. Than
yeah,
it
it's
was
bad.
horrible.
Yeah, he's real bad. But there's a lot of it. There's our last show was brought to you by those guys. Wichita was brought to you by Corey Feldman.
But who tells him like, hey man, this is some good shit?
There's people around him, and I just in your head, I think you get so.
I mean, he's not even a good singer.
No.
Like that had like.
But he has people come to.
5
He does
seconds of-
concerts and stuff,
Oh, I'm sure.
and
but
people go, man.
It had 5 seconds
Of course,
catchy,
people go to train wrecks and stuff. Yeah, yeah. He has some little yeah.
It wasn't bad, but then like you go and watch, and I had forgot about it. You go
But
and watch.
it's real
him when
similar to all. Yeah, his acting, but he was one of the ones that came out saying
he was
about the kid touching
Oh, now
by
I
the actors and all that. He would be on your side on that.
One of my very first books that I ever listened to was, and it's actually probably one of my favorite ones, was his audiobook. And he talked about all kinds of terrible things that happened to him when
Corey
he was coming up.
Feldman.
Yeah, 'cause
yeah.
there's just disgusting people out there that'll take advantage of kids like that.
Him and that other kid that ended
Other
up.
Corey.
Yeah. The between two Corys or
And
whatever.
he had a lot, I think, worse things that happened to him.
Than the other
Yeah.
Corey. Well, like one of them in the movie, they made it seem like was into it more, or just was
I don't
more
think either one of
willing.
them
I mean,
were
not
into it.
into it, but like less. I don't know.
they just-
not into it at all.
they
That
just-
sounds horrible. Let me rephrase that. But
Accepting of it.
yeah, I guess that would be
They
a
just
better.
kind of, like, shit happens to him.
Yeah, when you want to get famous, man. I don't know.
What kind of animal would you be okay with finding underneath your deck and letting it live there?
Man, a very small number. A cat?
Yeah. What about a black bear?
No, I mean, I guess if it stayed under there, no.
Hartford, New Haven, Connecticut.
No.
A black bear in Connecticut has settled for a longer winter's nap under a family's.
Leave
back
it alone.
porch.
It's napping.
Yeah, Vincent. Walked outside into a crazy encounter about 2 weeks ago.
Honey. Yeah, there's a bear under here.
Yeah, keep the dog inside.
I think we're gonna let it stay.
Yeah, I've got some extra honey buns.
I think we're gonna let it stay for a little while. It seems nice.
Yeah.
It's nice.
He said, my dog started growling. That's when my girlfriend, got scared and ran to the house. And I turned my head and saw that bear.
It's a bear. Okay.
And we were just staring at each other. So it's
Hey,
pretty
bear.
crazy. He's massive, but he's super chill, bro. He hasn't really done much so far. I mean, he
doesn't need to do much. He's a bear, and
He
you don't.
did eat my dog.
I was gonna say, and like one of my neighbors has been missing for a couple weeks, and now we
Yeah.
probably know. But I didn't like him.
Yeah, I mean,
He was that neighbor that's constantly getting involved in shit he shouldn't.
there was bear shit in the shape of my neighbor in the yard. I just didn't think nothing of it.
It's not the first time.
I just leave him alone. Let him be as long as he's not just creating disturbance or anything.
He
He's
doesn't
not
create a
bothering anybody.
disturbance until he fucking eats you. That's the disturbance he creates.
You know, they say that like New Jersey has the highest population, like per density capita of black bears of anywhere in the United States.
But are you talking about black gay people?
No, black bears. Like
the actual animal. Okay.
Yeah, not like a bear that.
Okay.
does
Well,
the sex
I didn't
stuff.
know if like sometimes you see statistics until you look into them. That statistic could be a convoluted,
I think I heard Steve
convoluted one.
I know, but it was Steve Ranilla talking about it, so I don't think he would be talking.
Complete facts,
Yeah.
then for sure.
Because I don't think he knows about that kind of community. Now, if it was like the dude from Modern Family talking about it, the redheaded guy.
Okay, then you'd believe it for sure.
Yeah.
That's
Or
not,
the dude from American Wedding that dances
yeah,
with
then
Stifler.
he's
You know where they
believable.
have the dance off?
Yeah, he's only.
He was
fact.
talking about that kind of bear. So, let's see here. You heard about Mr. Handsome Kliff Kingsbury getting fired, right?
Yeah, that was weird. That came through today. I heard he got a one-way ticket.
Yeah, to Thailand. He's getting paid for 5 years. He don't give a shit. He don't want to play.
Yeah, he said if he doesn't coach, he's not even interested.
He
at
better
least
watch
for
out
sure.
for ladyboys, though.
Yeah, who knows what? I mean, you got that kind of money, you can get him tested or checked by like somebody before.
I mean, see, if our guest
that
had
dude-
been here, he spent a lot of time in Thailand.
he could have. Yeah, we talked about that for just a little bit. He could have.
I know he knows about ladyboys.
Oh yeah, he said he didn't. He said no, but that was real tongue-in-cheekly type talking.
Yep. So since he's not here to defend himself, we're just gonna assume that.
That he's been with the
the
lady
lady
boy
boy,
for
yeah.
sure. if you're Kliff Kingsbury, I don't know, you're young, handsome. That's pretty stressful. I think
he's not married or anything like that.
I don't know if he is or not, but I think I doubt he sits the 5 years because you don't want to leave with that taste in your mouth, but I'll bet he sits a couple of it for sure. Because even like Peyton technically could sit a year or two, and he's already looking for work, you know. I mean, I think it's probably going to need to be the right job, but
I just don't think they get that. You know, they're doing the announcing stuff. They're not getting that adrenaline dump from it.
yes, oh yeah, no, for sure. And I don't know how you could, just like the players that can't leave it, or you know, you keep coming back because there's no match. So,
well, speaking of adrenaline dump, we took the kids hunting with us yesterday.
Okay.
I know you don't want to hear about.
no, I
hunting,
don't want to hear about it.
But I tell you about. It was their first time ever shooting.
Yeah,
They've shot guns before, but never like that. And I told them, I said, "You're not going to understand what this is going to do to you."
shooting at birds or deer.
Deer. And my wife and both girls took shots at them, and Sarah got one, and Bella shot at one and missed. But, I mean, she just barely missed, and she took the longest shot. And then Bristol, she nailed one. I mean, like, I couldn't believe it. I was like, okay, we're looking at a group of them. There's 4 of them, right? And I said, okay, get the one on the left. And at the very last second, I said, no, change it. Second one on the right. So, you know, kind of in the middle. I said, no, get the one on the right. And then, boom, she pulled the trigger. I was like, holy shit, and just nailed it. So it was awesome. And
Well, watch out, dudes, if you're messing with those girls.
Don't mess with my kids, man. They can defend themselves, I guess. So it was pretty cool.
As long as you stay still and stand in a group. And
yeah, as long as you.
and you're in a fenced-in area. No,
they weren't in a fenced-in area. That's what we did yesterday, and then it was kind of a nice weekend, except for the wind.
it was crazy, man. I took down Christmas lights yesterday, and I did not enjoy it. Between the wind and just the sore, and I don't like it no more. But yeah, and then if you can't see most of it on video, but kind of back here, if you've watched before, I redid this, and then it's a complete new kind of sitting area.
We didn't even really kind of address that, did we?
Yeah, we talked about the name shortening, the middle of the road, trying to get it switched on all the platforms. And what I did find out is if you had it saved in certain places, I mean, like Spotify, it's fine, all them, but it might have changed it. So go back
it's changed.
Go back and find us if you're on your place. If we're not, Linktree name did change, so it's link.tr or whatever it is. Oh, sorry, .ee / the middle of the road. So it changed if you go find it. So Linktree's regular thing, and then the middle of the road. So that's the only other thing. I had 3 stories we'll get to maybe, and then. I did have, I don't know, I guess we'll go probably here just a little bit longer, but sleeping separately with your spouse, is it, you know, if you are watching live on TikTok or somewhere, do you do it? Is it okay? Does it doom or spell doom?
I would think if you're older and you've already been doing it for a while, like some people don't like to touch each other like at night. My wife and I like to snuggle, so.
See, and I've always kind of been struggled. I mean, we've always slept together until recently, and the not last night, because till about 4 I slept out in the living room, and that was just a pass out situation. But recently I've just been sleeping.
Wake you up and say, "Come to bed."
She does in the mornings, like we swap when she comes out with the dogs or whatever. I go into the room anymore. I'm a bad sleeper lately, and she snores like crazy, and she goes to bed so much earlier than me that she
gets up earlier, though, right?
Yeah, but also she goes to bed so much earlier that she's in such deep sleep by the time I get in there. I feel bad. I try rolling her around and doing all that, but lately it's like I almost have to completely wake her up to get her to stop
snoring so you can...
Well, at least turn over and get in a position where it's not as crazy, because she gets comfortable laying facing a certain direction, and it's bad. I mean, between the smoking and whatever, it's gotten, and whatever. So, and then the dogs take up all the room. So it's like,
where's Tank sleeping at?
On the floor in the bedroom. He has a pillow in there. He gets on there and sleeps. The blind dog. So
we kind of let Charlie sleep, our dog sleep in our room, but I sleep light. So I hear that fucker moving around all the time, and it makes me so mad.
See, and I think that's part of it too, is she hadn't been sleeping much because they've been getting up so early, but part of that's me. I hear them moving around, and I think it's me trying to get them to lay back down. She hears that and then ends up getting up. Because if I sleep out on the couch or wherever, sometimes they'll sleep till 5 or 6 in the morning. So I know quite a few people that do sleep separate. I think it's been bugging my wife between how much I hang out in the studio and then I sleep separate.
Sleep on that thing.
I've thought about it, but that would really, I think she'd really think I was moving out.
Over the,
yeah.
You've done moved out. You just, whatever your address is, B.
Yeah, or half, 0.5. So I don't know let me know what your take is, but I think I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I mean, it's not normal, but no.
I think if I was even to attempt something like that, my wife would think I was pissed or something. So
I think half the time she thinks I'm just because I will fall asleep on my little chair out there a lot of the times. So to me it's fine. I have a couple of people. I used to think it was bad, but now they have their own separate bedroom where they have their own bed and all that. And now I'm kind of envious,
My wife says, never do that on here. So, we kind of just have a routine like every night. She says, not a good idea. We get in, we finished Sun, so now we're on to a new show. We're watching Nip Tuck now, which, you remember that show?
Yeah.
We're watching that. And
not a huge fan, but
we're just trying to get
a new show or
something
something
going. And I saw maybe like the first season of it, but it started in 2003. I mean, shit, that was 20 years ago. And you could tell by like the technology and everything that's going on. But, we get in, we watch our show, and it's like always you and I are texting. I'm like, we're watching our stories. I don't got much longer, and I'm out.
Well, that's why you go to bed way earlier, and I have major sleeping issues, and that's why I say a lot of it's not. I feel bad because it's probably not completely her. By no means, it's a lot me. I
thought you were taking like CBD melatonin.
I do take stuff, but it's still I don't go to bed until I
get some of that shit that Lee is taking.
Yeah,
that PTSD shit.
So I said, even when I first started taking this gabapentin or this medicine I'm on, I would pass out pretty quick. But still, only if I kind of go sit in my chair or go to sleep or I don't know. I mean, I need to work on. I get up early. I mean, fairly early. I get up 6 o'clock every morning. I mean,
you ever try jerking off and see if it helps?
I do. She gets weird when it's beside her. So
you're like, I'm just trying to sleep, babe.
Yeah, honey, I'm just trying to get tired. I watched this on some movies. They say it makes you go to sleep.
It makes you go right to sleep.
Yeah. No. No, I've never actually yet. I'm one day I will.
What, jerk off?
Yeah, I've never jerked off.
Oh, yeah. I have a story about that from.
I figure you do.
Should I tell you about it?
You're trying hard. You've wanted to do this. What do you got there?
So, when I was in middle school, I had this buddy Jerry that had a hot tub. Did you ever have any buddies that had hot tubs?
No, we didn't. What's that, like a hot bed of water?
Yeah, it's like a hot. It's like water that's hot.
Okay, and this was in middle school?
Yeah, we were in middle school.
All right.
But we would get in this thing all the time. It didn't matter if it was summertime, if it was wintertime, But one time,
bunch of poor kids in a hot tub.
Yeah, I mean, just dudes getting in a hot tub. So
nothing weird about that.
Yeah, nothing really. So we were in middle school, middle of summer, and for whatever reason, we were at my buddy Jerry's house, and he decided that, hey, let's all just get in a hot tub and chill. It was me, Jerry, my buddy Chris, and my buddy Jeff. So we're still in middle school, so we're pretty young. Well, what we didn't know was that over the summer, my buddy Chris had learned to jerk off, but we didn't know what that was yet. Because at that age, some guys are developing faster than others. Like, I was a late bloomer. I don't know about you, but I was farther behind than most kids.
We've talked about it. I was already making intercourse by then.
Yeah, Casey was a farther. But
I wasn't doing that in front of people yet.
No, I mean, we weren't either. I mean, I didn't know anybody that did either. So me, Chris, Jerry, and Jeff were all in this hot tub. Now, the thing was, me and Chris and Jerry were all pretty tight, but Jeff kind of was outside the group.
The odd kid.
He was outside the group, so he wasn't quite down with our crew like that. So when we were in the hot tub, we didn't know it, but Chris he'd been practicing all summer on this jerking off thing that he was doing. And we didn't know because he was kind of he was under the water. You can't really see what people are doing because it's got the bubbles and everything. You can't quite see through all
So
that.
the Jets still worked on this one?
Yeah, they had. Yeah, this was a night. Jerry's parents had quite a
Had
bit
the
of-
money, okay.
Yeah, they were but I don't know why they didn't have a pool. They just had the hot tub. So like I'm saying, it was summertime. It was hot, like 95 degrees, maybe 100. And we're in this hot tub, and it's like 95, 100 degrees, not hotter.
The water's a little less hot than it was outside.
Yeah, yeah. So for whatever reason, Chris had been doing this, pulling on that thing under the water, and he stands up, and he's letting it fly.
What's he letting fly?
He was
The
releasing,
number 3?
He was releasing
demon?
number 3, the screaming demon out.
But you didn't know what it was.
But we didn't know what it was because we were 12 years old.
Thought he was melting.
We thought he was melting, and Jeff didn't know at all. So he tries to just grab a hold of that thing, thinking he can save it from melting off. We didn't go back to Jerry's hot tub anymore after that.
Seems like an odd cat.
Yeah,
That's another one of those. Seems like growing up there's a strange place to grow up there in your town.
this is a year I moved out of Conway Springs.
Okay, this was a
Yeah.
different
Yeah, this was
different
in-
place.
I spent a summer in Wellington.
Well, that sounds like a pretty Wellington
It's more
thing.
a Wellington thing.
I mean, I knew you were going to tell a story. I don't know. I mean, you told it with vigor.
I mean, you live through things like that, and it's something you don't forget about now.
Man, I had some kids, some stories where you'd stay the night at a buddy's house and catch him, like he was adamant on either sleeping in his room alone, and then you'd walk in there and he's under the cover, or you'd find his rag or something. And
Yeah.
like I had Gary I walked in on multiple times. He was that kid, like he's the kid that he'd stay the night at your house and jerk off in your bathroom or like, and that's the thing, I had one kid's house, Brad Rogers' house, that I think one time, I don't know why, I woke up in the morning with one of those, and this is like 7th grade time or 8th grade time, but I woke up with one of those. It just what I couldn't stop thinking about his mom kind of thing. She had big boobs. She wasn't attractive or anything,
Yeah,
but
but when you're young,
yeah, you just
big
think like
boobs.
I don't know what it was, but I woke up and I just couldn't get it to go away. And then I tried to go into the bathroom, and I don't remember. He had multiple brothers and sisters, and people were trying to get out of the bathroom. It was just weirding me out. So everybody was getting ready, and I went into his closet and snapped.
Like a walk-in or like
A
an
big
accordion?
one, yeah, like a big walk-in, had a closed door. This is an old house, and I remember like they were like a mile and a half outside of town, and I think Brad and somebody may even been still asleep in the room, and I snapped one off in there and into like a whole bunch of toilet paper, and I had to sneak that back into the bathroom. I remember like getting busted, like walking in there, holding it, and his mom walking up the stairs, and knowing she was the one I was kind of thinking about.
Yeah.
And you
Just
didn't
so
have
my
a phone
nose is
back there.
running.
And, you run into the bathroom and flush it. And I just remember the rule was you were supposed to go to church if you stayed the night there. And it was Sunday morning, and, like, everybody was getting up. I just remember, like, they'd picked me up, and I'm like, I just don't feel good. And for some reason, I thought everybody knew, and I literally walked back. I mean, it's a mile and a half, and you're young. It was a colder morning. But I just remember, like, it was like the walk of shame.
This
like
Rose Hill or Belle Plaine?
Belle Plaine.
Yeah.
And I think, like, it was that kind of thing where I was young enough that I didn't think other kids were doing it, which they probably weren't, especially in buddies' houses when they stayed the night in their closet thinking about their moms. But then it was like I was walking back to town, and people driving by, I thought they knew. It was like
guilty, man.
Yeah.
You would have went to church, especially if you went to Catholic, you would just went and got in that room and told
told
the preacher
him,
what
and
you
then
did, and he
he
would have absolved you, and you
You're
would
doing good,
fine.
boy. You're doing good.
Yeah, he'd be like, tell me again what you did.
Yeah,
What were you wearing?
And then I remember, like, Brad, like, you feeling okay? I remember you left kind of. You look like you didn't feel good, and I'm like, man,
Yeah, man, I was puking out
I
my
was puking
nose.
out. I've never puked out the front like that. It was weird, man. I have, but
Yeah.
not. Yeah, so that was my weird. It wasn't Jerry's hot tub. That was the real one that I did.
I mean, I haven't talked to Jerry in a long time.
I wouldn't talk
That
to
kinda-
him.
Well, I mean, it wasn't Jerry. It was
It was Jeff or Chris. It was Chris.
I mean,
But
it was
Jerry-
awkward between me
you guys,
and Jerry
none of you
after
guys
that.
could talk after that. Yeah, once you've seen, and especially once you know what you've seen.
And that first time you see one of your buddies' wieners like that, and you're just not ready for it.
I remember I walked in. We had one of my buddies who was sexually active, like regularly with a girl before all of us.
Not before you.
But regularly, I mean, like he had a girlfriend that they were like sneaking away, and I didn't have I had girls that would let me once or twice or whatever, and then
You're
you had
talking about what age?
7th grade summer,
Holy shit.
8th grade. They were, and I say regularly, once a week or twice a week or whatever. And I remember him.
I know people that are married that are getting it not even once.
I know. Well,
every
it's
6
crazy. I knew a
months.
couple other people like freshman and sophomore year, and I had one girlfriend that we had a string where we would go at lunch and do this, but only for a little bit. But they were like every day, 2-3 times a day kind of people. And this is like freshman, sophomore. But this particular one, he had told me, and I didn't believe him, whatever. Well, we were supposed to go something for baseball. We played summer league baseball, and I remember walking in, and I didn't think she was there, and they were in there doing it. And I remember she never looked at me quite the same, Tori, and he never looked at me the same. And it was just weird. I'm like, they really are. I mean, they really are doing this. I don't think they were doing it right still, even with a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Because it looked like.
The only way you can get better is practice.
I just remember running out being, he's hurting her. No, I don't.
What is he doing to my mom?
What is he doing to my mom? Oh.
Yeah,
What do we got comments on there? Oh.
Just my wife saying, OMG, you guys and your younger self. I've never, my wife didn't know that story about me now.
I would imagine a lot of people didn't know that story about you because most people didn't even know you moved to Wellington for a while.
Yeah, I mean, it was in secret, so.
My younger self is a very truthful. I have a lot of bad stories. We can get deep into those. You wanted to start. We're trying to. I don't know what we're trying here.
Younger self story time.
But we're trying to expand our funniness or doing that, and that'll come with the materials, the set, all that. But he wanted to dive into some of the embarrassing stories, and he didn't want to go too. He was only in the hot tub. He didn't want to be. The truth is, he was the guy that helped try to shut the spigot off on.
Nah, I wasn't helping. That was not me. That was Jeff. Like
that really was me in Brad's closet. And I'm sorry, Brad, if you ever do listen. I violated myself.
Sorry about your mom's huge tits, Brad.
Yeah, I violated myself. That was, dude. We're young. You're so messed up. Like I've thought about some of the things that got me my phallus hard or erect, or I don't want to get. We're probably already kicked off whatever we're on.
We're still good. I mean, we only got 3 people in
okay.
here. So.
Well, they can't.
I was trying to explain that to my wife. I said, you don't understand that when. It's like I explained it.
There
like
was
this.
teachers that weren't even attractive that like would wear something or like you could see a little piece of their boob and you're like, quit.
So like
quit. I mean, it still kind of happens to me now.
We were talking about this.
Oh, sorry.
When we were deer hunting last week. Like deer when they go through the rut, the boy.
Stop bringing up deer hunting. I'm done with it.
The boy deers are so.
We got to get
horny.
more things. We can't come to the middle of the road on deer hunt. Okay,
no, we're not going. It's about how they're so horny.
They'll run through anything. They don't care. Cars, anything. Yeah.
That's about. You take that and dial that back about half. That's how fucking horny a middle school boy is, or a kid that's going through puberty.
Or especially somebody that's got a little tiny taste of it or whatever.
No,
you know?
I'm saying you don't even have to have a taste. I just remember being like a little kid and watching some.
Well,
show.
I mean, just like of girls in general. I mean, like kissing a girl or whatever. Like once you've.
I mean, at that age, you just want to get as close to it. You don't even understand why.
Nope.
When it first starts happening, you don't even understand why.
Nope. You can be like, oh, your friends are bad. No, like there was the good kids that were getting in trouble because they couldn't stop thinking about girls. And that's why I also get partially why some of the schools are against certain things. Certain girls are wearing the spandexes and the yogi pants and that stuff. Because I couldn't imagine being a kid today in school.
Oh yeah,
they supposedly have dress codes, but
they do.
All of them wearing those freaking yoga pants. That's worse.
Like that. Yeah,
that's worse than a mini skirt.
Yeah, now I'm just thinking about. I wonder what Chris was thinking about when we were kind of weird, you know.
You guys probably. Who knows? It doesn't matter. It could have been your buddy's mom. That's what's even weird. Like you can be around a group of your friends, and it's not. I mean, you don't have no control of it. You know. I did have. If you're done talking about us,
I'm done.
All right. 3 stories for you to pick from.
Okay.
Let them dance. Swedish government gets rid of permits for dancing.
Is this like fucking Footloose?
Kind of. Selena Superfan record. Some Selena Superfan breaks a record collection. And then a Canadian headstand. And I put in parentheses, I'm doing this one anyways.
Okay.
A Canadian man, 82, becomes a world record holder.
I probably couldn't stand on my head with no, like, his hands down or just head?
It says headstand. And with my legs going, this was the only reason why there's a story with it. If I was hooked up, we could watch it. But an 82-year-old British Columbia man who has been doing gymnastics since he was 15 earned a Guinness World Record for the oldest man to perform a headstand. I thought it was long. Bruce of wherever said he started doing traditional headstand every year to celebrate his birthday about 20 years ago. I'm in my 60s, or when I was in my 60s, my grandchildren were around in the lawn. Sometimes I just gave them a shot of me doing it. He told CNBC News, it grew from there. It became a custom on my birthday, June 25th. He just wants everybody to know.
Yeah.
To have the grand group of grandchildren in the front yard and try doing headstands.
Does he do like a picture? Oh, they all do it?
Yeah.
That's cool.
It's on here. There's a video. I need to, next week I'll have this all hooked. We just got the set built this week, but
By we mean you.
yeah, I did.
Oh, he's doing it in the middle. He's not even doing it like off like in the open yard.
Yeah, and he's not doing,
Oh, he's struggling a little bit.
well, he's 82.
Yeah.
But he's not doing the I always, even still now, I can do one that way, but I do a tripod. But I want to know what with my legs going, this is something I'm good at. This used to be a thing. We did headstands and handstands, walking our hands with all the basketball and all the football kids when I coached. And that was one thing that I'm real good at. And we still, even at Amy's like Christmas and every time we're around her family, it's a huge thing to, there's a couple of the kids I teach all the young kids how to do headstands.
Okay.
So they'll go out even, like they'll come show them to me every year. Like, look, I've been working on it. A couple of the kids do gymnastics now. So there's hope for me. Once my legs go, I don't know if like once they're floppy and stuff, it'll still count, but I can maybe break this record someday. So,
okay.
That was all I had for 3 stories.
All right. Well, we kind of talked about this earlier, but UFC President Dana White said Saturday that the promotion released heavyweight champion Francis Ngannou from his contract and booked Jon Jones against Gane March 4th for the main event of UFC 285. And they also signed Jon Jones to an 8-fight deal.
Really?
He says he wants $30 million per fight. I don't know what he's getting, but
Jon Jones wants that?
It's been like 1,200 days since he fought last.
That's what's crazy is, and I kind of agree. I get it. He's a freak, and I've seen how bulked up he is and all that, probably on roids. But, why would you not give that money? Maybe he does. I guess he just brings bigger draw.
That's just what he's saying. It said,
no, but I'm just saying, I know he's held out, and I know he is getting good money regardless. But why? And then the fact that there's people pissed that he's already fighting for a champion from sitting 1,200 days.
Yeah.
And
it said, White said after the UFC Vegas 67 card, UFC had offered Ngannou a contract that would have made him the highest paid heavyweight in UFC history, more than Brock Lesnar, more than Kane, anybody. But Ngannou had turned it down. He also said that Ngannou's knee injury still isn't healed and that he wouldn't have been ready for the fight in March.
I still wonder if he does make a run back at some point.
Probably sure. I mean, White also said that Jones had signed a new 8-fight deal. News of the Jones. I don't know who this Gane guy is.
Oh, he's been fight. He fought for a championship already once.
Oh, okay.
Right at the he's 8-1. Yeah, Gane. I say Gane, and my son says similar to what you say.
Is it Gane? I don't know. I'm just
very close. But
Ngannou last fought when he scored a decision win over Gane, so his last guy beat 20 almost a year.
And that
ago.
was when he blew his knee up in that fight.
He said that after the fight he had a knee injury and had surgery shortly after. We've been working on a new agreement with Francis for like 2 years now, White said. We offered Francis a deal that would have made him the highest paid heavyweight in the history of the company, more than Brock, more than anybody.
Turned it down.
Yeah. Jones has been training the last several days at Fight Ready MMA in Scottsdale, Arizona under Henry Cejudo. Is that how you say it?
Cejudo, yeah.
Yes, yeah. The former flyweight champ.
Yeah.
Jones let it slip that fight was coming up.
And I heard they were trying to book him in that one, and it didn't. 8 fights. The guy, he's 32 or 33.
Who?
Jones.
Yeah, he's I mean, he's in his early 30s.
And he hasn't, of course, I mean.
But he don't have all the mileage. I mean, most of his fights haven't went that far. I mean.
Yeah, and he stays away if
realistically,
he
he's
does.
never even lost a fight. And I was listening to Rogan the other day, and they were talking about.
Oh,
who is that guy that Gustafson that he fought? He said that when he did that, he was high as fuck on cocaine and crack and never even.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But
that.
is
and
he?
Then the next time he fought him, he trained. He beat the fuck out of him.
But I mean, that was even similar to one of the DC fights.
Yeah.
He was supposedly all fucked up,
Yeah,
and then
that's what he's like. He's like, I beat your. He goes, you're getting your ass beat by a crackhead. And he was beating him and everything, verbally and. So.
Yeah. I like watching him fight, so I mean it's kind of even like the Conor thing. I don't like Conor, but you watch him fight, and that's the reason why they get the money. And Ngannou doesn't put people in the seats the same way, so
yeah,
people hitting you up on your celly.
Just my wife.
All right, we're about
Just
done
my
here.
beautiful wife. We're almost done, babe.
We're new set, new thing. Go find us the Monday or not. See, that was the first one. I've been doing good.
Try it again.
I've been doing good. The Middle of the Road podcast.
Yep.
We're gonna be blowing it up. We're gonna have a lot better content. We're gonna have guests. Hopefully, we'll start actually showing. We want to start doing more interviews. Lee was supposed to be here. We're gonna bring in Skin Man for jerky talk. We'll bring in E for fast comebacks. I do still want to interlink with those guys or the OK Taco guys and try to do something.
Going to be OK Taco.
I think so, and then the Con Radio and that. I don't know what the future holds there, but do some stuff with them. I did try to set this up where in a worst case I slide over here and we can still get a person pretty comfortably there. We can get two there, we can get one there.
Yeah.
And I even have a little cord pulled over to do a seat and somebody on the mic over there. So we're still set up to do bigger shows, and I'd like to do some of that stuff, even bringing in some of the old friends from the past and doing some get-together shows and watching some sports. Bengals are up 9-0, but the Ravens are driving. I think they're going to probably stay with this kid over Lamar because I don't know how you pay Lamar a bunch of money to get hurt and not really be that effective anymore, but
isn't it crazy that he's younger than Stetson Bennett, but yet he's already been in the NFL for 5 years?
Who, Lamar?
Yeah. And won MVP. And
especially with these new rules, it's going to be crazy how many older guys. I did see there's a rookie that's 26, but he's a BYU guy, so he was on a 4-year mission or whatever. So, well, I appreciate it. It was a new set, new view, new stuff. So, and we kind of, I don't know, it's weird on a Sunday, but I think I can get used to different days. I like it. It was weird. We went live for a while on Facebook and then TikTok, and then all the cameras died. Stuff wasn't plugged in right. I thought I had everything planned out, and then right before I didn't. So I was throwing off a little start the show. That's okay.
Worked out good.
Yeah. Good times. We'll be back. I don't know when we'll see.
Probably next Sunday.
We'll
just see what happens with
we'll be playing it by ear.
Cowboys.
There may be some changes in the future for the show, but we'll keep you posted as we do.
Yep.
Get this ready. See if I can nail it this week.
I'm here to date your 6-year-old. What do you think tap water is? It's a gay bomb, baby. I don't like
Gay bomb, baby.
chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that?
Turns the freaking frogs gay.